you turn on the time? The headset. Hello, test, test. Okay, so we have NotSoNewby here, who's gonna be doing Shovel Knight, but with a twist. What's that twist, Andrew?
So this is Specter Knight, which is the third DLC that was released. So I'm not playing a Shovel Knight. I'm playing a Specter Knight.
I hear game sound.
It's really quiet though. You can turn it up a little bit if you can.
Okay.
There you go. That's good.
Just make sure your ears doesn't bleed. Okay. So is it good? Is it too loud?
That's
or?
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is Specter Knight. Specter Knight plays a bit differently than Shovel Knight, and he has his own campaign. So all the levels are redone from the ground up. But it's a pretty cool run. So.
I'm gonna leave you to this, and again, if you need anything, just tap me or whatever you need. Okay.
What's that? An hour. Yeah.
1 hour. Can you turn this up? Okay. Are you good?
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah.
Balance as it can be.
Yeah, it looks good. I got a Pro controller finally too. It's a bit more comfortable.
All right. Whenever you're ready, just count us out.
Okay. You ready? Yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Good job.
Hey. So we're gonna skip all these cutscenes. So the coolest thing about Specter Knight is that he has a totally different movement scheme. So as you can climb walls, I have this sickle, and I can do a homing attack on some enemies. So I'm gonna be utilizing all those quite a bit. Some of these walls you can't climb up. So the ones with the green, like grass on the sides, every level has its own sort of like thing you can't climb up. So what we need to do is basically get from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen in every level. But I also have to collect some of these skulls. The skulls allow me to buy power-ups later. They're called curios. And there's 2 that we're going to buy for the run. I also need to collect some money because we're going to be getting 1 upgrade on the cloak. Right after level 2. To damage boost that guy, he's a pretty bad enemy. So I'm going to try to pick up as much large money as I can. We can break through walls as well, that way we don't have to break those blocks. The other way to break blocks is by hopping on them, but that requires me to actually jump. Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward right now. Specter Knight jumps a little bit shorter than Shovel Knight, but walks a little bit faster. And his range is also much better than Shovel Knight's. So the homing attack you can see when I do it on enemies. I can do it on enemies, I can also do it on some objects like lanterns and things. It's much faster, it pushes me forward quite a bit. So I'm going to try to utilize the homing slash whenever I can to gain a bit of extra height. Here we're going to get the skull, I'm just going to wait a sec and then take a hit from that. Bouncing into this screen allows me to get that skull pretty easily. So yeah, the planes is pretty straightforward. And we're going to go right into the first fight, Black Knights. So every boss also is redone. There's a little twist, so they kind of perform a little bit differently, you'll see. So for this, we're going down. And he's got his terror pin, which is his little buddy. The terror pin you can't kill, you can't do anything to, it just bounces around and causes problems. So just like the first Shovel Knight, there is a stun lock. If I'm able to keep him in this corner, I didn't. It's okay, I just gotta wait a sec. If I hit him when he's in the air, he'll fall off terror pin, and that's really bad. Uh-oh. Alright, we're getting off. It's okay, we're just gonna have to try to dodge terrapin and hit him on the ground. Oh, he's back on, excellent. Alright, so it didn't quite go well enough, but we finished it, so it's fine. I also pick up 1 extra health in this level, and I'm gonna be picking up an extra health in the next level as well. Basically for safety. The health and the darkness, which is your magic, those upgrades can be found in the levels, and you can also buy them after the levels. So we're going to bind the darkness later, but we're going to get the health from the levels because they're very easy to get. So the story of this game is basically a prequel to Shovel Knight. So you're basically under the control of the Enchantress right now, and you're going along and you're recruiting all the different knights who are going to be beating Shovel Knight later. Another thing about this is you can choose which levels you want to go to in which order. And the reason we choose specific levels is because after a level, you unlock a specific power-up. So from this level, we're going to unlock one called the Judgment Rush. So we do this one first, so we get Judgment Rush as fast as possible. And you'll see why we want Judgment Rush really early once I start using it. This is also one of the most difficult levels in the game. So we get out of the way pretty early, which is good. Take a damage here. Whoops, I went down instead of up. Okay, well, we're going to hear... Whoa, I'm not supposed to go in here. What is that? All right, we're going to go this way. There we go. So again, I'm still trying to collect some skulls here. And I got to get that health. So as you can see, the movement is pretty cool with the wall climbing and the slashing. You can do a lot of pretty cool stuff. I also need a lot of money because the cloak that I'm getting is quite expensive. So I'm going to be breaking a fair amount of checkpoints, which also makes this level extremely dangerous. There's a hidden block there I got to break. So as you can see, the levels are slightly redesigned from Shovel Knight. They just work to fit Specter Knight's mechanic better. Let's see if I can beat this boat in a timely manner. Yeah, that was okay. Breaking checkpoints for lots of money. Very scary. I should be fine. There's going to be one checkpoint I don't break because there's a room after it that's just insanely hard and very random. Specter Knight can also break these, which is amazing. Like a boss. It's a little auto-scroller section here. Just try to get as much money here as I can, because it costs no time at all to get all the money. There's a couple skulls here as well. So the Judgment Rush is going to cost me 10 skulls, and then the next curio I'm getting is the Skeletal Sentry, which costs me 9 more. So I need a total at the end of not this one, but the next level of 19 to get all of them. So I'm just waiting for the auto-scroller to finish. Some free skulls in here as well, which is nice. Costs no time to get. This ladder. This checkpoint's nice. 750 gold is really good. So we have to break it. Wait for this fan cycle. A little scary, but the wall climb is good. Don't hit the spikes. That's one shot. All spikes are one-hit kills. So we really don't want to touch those. Just going to wait for this guy and then hit him at the first moment so I don't get hit. So I'm not breaking this checkpoint. This room has Jawas, which are just as bad. Oh, gosh. They're just random, so I'm going to... Oh, yeah, that sucks. Basically, they go where they want and they push you around, and it's just a mess. So I'm actually going to take it a lot slower this time. The other issue is I need all my money. So we're just going to try and get the money here. Just die. I don't know how I'm going to get that money. Oh my gosh. Okay, they're dead, so I can just go now. Okay, so we're going to have to try and find a lot more money somewhere. But that's okay. I'll just break some more checkpoints. At least I got through the room. So the slash is really good, obviously. I'll just break this one, too. Should be fine. Get the health just to refill. So Propeller Knight is a bit different as well. He also breaks the stage. So now it's all sort of weird. So I'm going to do a little bit safe. Okay. So I didn't die, that was good. Because I broke the checkpoint before as well, so. So I think I have enough money to get the cloak. No, I don't. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna get Judgment Rush. This is unlocked after I beat the Flying Machine level. So I do this little mini game just to get it. And basically, as you can see, it targets an enemy and then just goes towards them. So it's insane. Alright, so you have to press start and A at the same time for those. So am I short? I can't remember how much this actually costs. I am a little bit short. So I'm gonna go get a little bit of money. I don't need much. But the rail mail is an item I absolutely have to get. So this guy gives us a lot of money, so yay. He's just a nice guy. Alright, so the rail mail allows me now to skate along the ground very fast. So the run becomes much quicker. I can skate, I can jump. I keep all my speed as I jump as well. So you'll see this level is going to go much quicker now. So I need a little bit more money. I'm going to grab a couple checkpoints as well that I wouldn't normally break. So you can also slash way on the ground. The Judgment Rush will just target enemies. So we're basically fully powered up for most of the run at this point. I need a couple more skulls, obviously, because I need one more relic later. That's a really bad one. Okay. These enemies are a pain to get past. So this will get me right underneath the stage, so I can skip that whole room. Take a hit here, it's fine. A lot of money here. Dark and scary, but I've done it at least a couple times before, so I do know where I'm going, which is good. So yeah, you go really fast with the rail mail. Oops. Okay, we're good. Also, every song in the game is remixed as well. It's a very similar version, but they're remixed a bit, which is kind of cool. Yeah, we're actually pretty good for money, so I'm not worried. We break this one normally anyway. It's like 500 gold. There's a skull in here we're going to grab. And use that enemy to get up. I'm going to just get this checkpoint, just in case. It's the last one before the boss, so. I'm going to rush these guys. So that skips most of that section as well. The dark rooms are always scary if you don't know what you're doing. And there's a darkness here, and we'll just get health. So the boss here is not Specter Knight, obviously, since I'm Specter Knight. The boss is actually Phantom Striker. And we're going to kick him out of his house. This is now going to be Specter Knight's house. So the Judgment Rush also does a double hit, which is why I use it at the beginning there. It does a good amount of damage early on. And it also gets me right towards him, so. You can only hit him, obviously, when he's not invulnerable and, like, lightning flashing. Oh, one hit. Alright, we got him. So that was a pretty good fight. It can't really go too much faster than that. You sort of have to wait for most of the cycles anyway. And now we're going to get a little bit of backstory. Instead of dream sequences in this run, there's flashbacks where you actually do stuff. You run around and do a little level as Specter Knight's previous form, which is a man named Donovan. So we're going to this little flashback scene. You and your buddy are going to go try and claim this relic. So there's Specter Knight, classic Specter Knight. You have almost all the exact same moves, except I don't have any power-ups. But I do get to keep my money. So we're going to be collecting money here as well. And there's a lot of it in these sequences. Take a hit, and my buddy helps me up. Dun, 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 dun. So there aren't too many tricks in this dream sequence specifically. Just kind of going through the motions. A lot of money in the wall. I'm gonna get this money just to be safe. Oops, I didn't get it. You know what? I don't know if I can go back safely, so I'm not going to. We should be pretty good with money. I'll break one extra checkpoint in the next level. So I'm going to buy my first darkness here. You get darkness unlocks as well after a level that you don't collect it in. darkness and the health as well. Oops, where am I going? And they're available here for 4,000. So we're going to buy this one here. Come on, okay. And we're going to Clockwork Tower, which is Tinker Knight stage. This is another one of the most challenging stages. All the hard stages are at the beginning, which is kind of good in a way. Just get them out of the way during a run. There's a fair amount of tricks. So we're going to be using a lot of Judgment Rush here, because it skips a fair amount of rooms and a fair amount of walls. So just wait for this guy to open up. That rat sometimes gets in the way. Skips that room. So there's a trick here I might be able to get. Let's see if I can make the cycle. I don't think I will. So you can, if you're a little bit faster, it can make it right underneath that that giant top thing that's coming down at you. It's really tight though, so, and if you die, it's really bad. Because I took no checkpoint so far, and I have a lot of money that I need to keep for this. Oh, that guy hit me. Yeah, we're not really gonna pick any checkpoints either. We're just gonna go for it. Take damage intentionally to get through those. So we get a little auto-scroller section where I can collect some money from some enemies. So yeah, and after I get the next relic after this level, I really don't have to worry about money pretty much until the very end of the run, and even then I don't really have to worry about it. You collect enough money from the boss battles that you don't have to collect any extra along the way, which is kind of nice. Oh my gosh, let's not die. Scratch my nose and die. Also, the music is like really Mega Man, which is cool. So all this money is free, obviously, because it's an auto-scroller. I don't have to spend any time getting it. Free skull. Sorry, the next relic is actually only 9 skulls, so I only need 1 more. And there's another auto-scroller with a free skull. So I really don't have to go out of my way at all anymore. We're going to skip this room by going just over it. Apparently there's no wall there. And then we're going to Judgment Rush into this enemy, which skips that. And we have no health, so I'm just going to get this health. There's a small skip in this room, but it's actually pretty risky, so I'm not going to do it. Judgment Rush gets us up there. As you can see, there's like no reason not to get this relic. It's so insane. Many rooms you just fly through. This guy, we're gonna get up here. Skipping us having to go around there. So this is the last little auto-scroller before Tinker Knight. There's one more skull in here as well. Just don't die. That's basically the point of the auto-scrollers. Don't be stupid. Much easier said than done as well. A little bit of money up here. These things are random, these like dagger things. Notoriously much worse in the original Shovel Knight, as you have to legitimately go through rooms full of them. So there's our last skull. So now I have enough to buy the last relic that I'm going to buy, which is the Skeletal Sentry, which is also a really broken relic. You'll see. It's mainly used in boss battles, because it just does a ton of damage. Okay, so Tinker, we're just going to get this gigantic checkpoint that's 750. So again, 2 phases here, just like Shovel Knight. Tiny Man phase. So I'm going to be doing a strat that doesn't involve any relics. Hopefully it works out pretty well. The only thing I really have to worry about here is those wrenches. So I did actually use the Judgment Rush there. Oh, don't worry, more fun. Now he's angry. So none of these hits deal damage until his health bar actually appears. Okay, we can always use the Judgment Rush to get up to him, which is great. Also, if you notice, hitting enemies and bosses actually gives me some darkness, which is great for... Okay. We're good, we're good. The save with the Judgment Rush. All right. That was pretty good. And I'm going to die anyway. There we go. No, he's not actually dead. We're good. That was pretty close. A little too close for comfort. So actually I do have just enough money now to buy the 9 skulls and 7,000 to actually upgrade it into an even better relic. You can upgrade all the relics too, which is very cool. So this is called the Skeletal Sentry, and basically just drops a skeleton, and the skeleton shoots. And he also explodes. So we're just going to get through this little tutorial, drop him and explode him. Let's open that up. And now we're going to upgrade it. And the upgrading just makes him have better range, shoot more bolts, and his explosion's better. So we're going to unlock the upgrading station here. So now I have the best sentry. And you'll see I'm gonna do, there's a mini boss here. Well. So the mini boss here, who's Reese from the original Shovel Knight, he's come to save the day, and Enchantress is not having any of that. So she gives him a good dose of medicine here. So now we have to fight Reese. So we're gonna drop a skeleton, and he's just gonna shoot for us and just deal damage, hopefully. The idea is that he does some damage. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, he just wails and really helps out. I'm gonna drop another one. I missed him. I can also Judgment Rush up to him. Alright, so that was a pretty good fight. So the Sentry's really good for like every boss fight, pretty much. Skip some text. What's great about the devs in this game is they're a big part of the speedrunning community. So they listen to what we have to say. So you can skip all cutscenes. They make patches that are pretty much relevant to the speedrun. And they design with speedrunning in mind, which is great. So the rush gets us through there. Somehow it targets that. I don't know. So this is Iron Whale. This is the Treasure Knight level. It's a little bit different. Skate and slash. So I only need 3 darkness here, but I can keep upgrading. I'm actually going to be upgrading it all the way by the end of the run, so I can use a ton of relics. So for some reason that does that. So I can skip having to do this whole room. And oh, also you can skate along spikes, which is amazing. So that saves a lot of time. Okay. Get through that guy. So yeah, again, I'm really not worried about money anymore. I've got all the upgrades I want for now. And the bosses give you a lot of money. So I won't really be needing to grind any extra money to get these darkness upgrades that are going to cost 4,000 apiece after a certain few levels. This fish is back, of course. Except I can just keep targeting the chest this time, and it's a little bit easier. Just don't want to get knocked off by these fish. The fish he like spits out. There is actually a way to get him on one cycle. He takes 12 hits on his like little glowing ball there. But after a certain amount of time, he goes to the other side of the screen and sort of wastes some time. With proper relic placement and using the skeleton to explode at the right time, you can actually get him on the first cycle, but it's pretty tough. So. Alright. So far, so good. I'm going to use that little Dirt Claw to skip that whole room, just like Shovel Knight does. Whoops. Alright. Skating is almost always faster, so we try to do skating through most of the level. This fish is great. He's unkillable by my own weapons, and he does 2 full hearts of damage when he touches you, which is just amazing. Luckily, these can kill him, so we're gonna try. Yeah, we try to get the anchors to do the dirty work for us. Judgment Rush through that. That thing sometimes hits you. So this run can be finicky, basically because sometimes you climb walls accidentally or skate accidentally, and it's tough. And then you kind of ruin your momentum there. So Skeletal Sentry again, just drop one, and he's just going to wail. I'm also going to wail. So fights become very fast and easy with the skeleton, which is why we have to buy him and upgrade him. The unupgraded skeleton only does 3 shots, and they're a bit slower, and his explosion radius is a lot smaller. So the upgrade doesn't take very much time for what it's worth. So going to Lost City now. Whoops. Which is Mole Knight stage. I ideally wanted one more darkness, but it costs 4,000, and I don't have that much yet. But it's okay. Everything is still very doable with 3 darkness. Those blocks push you back, but skating through them and slashing doesn't push you as far. Some money there. So we're gonna Judgment Rush, but what it does, it targets the closest enemy, and those 2 are obviously closer than that one there. Skate over some pits, no problem. There is a beetle skip. It does, of course, involve Judgment Rush. Oh, I'm out of darkness, so I can't do it again. That's one place where the extra darkness is pretty handy. That's okay. It's pretty easy to pick up my money there. And I'm not too far back at all. Just wait for that. Alright, let's try this again. Okay. We're gonna just go without the money. Those green lanterns push you backwards and up, so you kind of have to position yourself a little bit differently to use them. We're just gonna skip the lantern there. So they're a bit trickier to use. Take some time to get used to that. The Judgment Rush also, if you noticed, gives you a little bit of invincibility, which is extremely handy in some situations. Slash through that guy. Hello? Hello? Okay. Okay, I finally got through the green blocks. That's cool. This guy I'm just gonna not fool around. If you jump on those, you blow the whole thing up and then die, usually. So we're gonna skip a couple things here. Judgment Rush those guys to get through. Normally you have to go to the right side, but there's no enemies. You can Judgment Rush in the air and actually refill your wall climb. So we do that. This guy needs to go away. Okay. Normally you need to use a green thing to actually bounce yourself backwards, but I tried to skip it by getting a little bit close to the edge and you can bounce off. So yeah, we'll try this again. So rush these guys. There. Refill the wall. You can't actually wall climb indefinitely. That's the reason. Nope. There we go. Okay. It just took a couple tries. Okay, we're going to skip this next beetle as well. The rail mail giving us the extra reach as well, the range in our jump, allows us to skip a bunch of other platforms. This, we're just going to blow up a skeleton there. This room is weird, so I just mash and hope I get through, and it worked. Alright, so we're at Mole Knight. Hopefully this goes just as well as Treasure Knight. Get some free pop shots on him. Stay in the corner as well. Okay, that was good. So there are only a few hard bosses now at this point, and most of them come a lot later in the run. So it's mainly the levels that are really challenging now. All right, so there's a second dream sequence. We actually have a mini-boss fight in this one as well. And this one's a lot more technical of a level than the last one was. I'm also going to be collecting a bunch of gold here because it carries over. The flashback carries over to real life, which makes a ton of sense. I also have these little weapons now that I can use to kill enemies. I can drop down there. That guy just dies. There's a quick cycle in this room if I can make it. I can skip the fire, yep, good. Alright, and we're on to the mini-boss fight. I'm just going to refill my health here. And the mini-boss is Shield Knight. So Shield Knight's actually pretty difficult. Obviously there's a giant shield in front of her, so you can't hit her face on. But you can use the your items a little bit. So when she drops her shield, like you should never do, I can just get some extra hits on her. I also ran out of magic, so I cannot use those. It's okay. Come on. Okay. There we go. So that was one of the trickier fights when I first started running the game. But it got a lot easier after you kind of understand the patterns. So we're gonna get our darkness upgrade here. Excellent. So this is Plague Knight stage. Plague Knight was probably one of the most frustrating bosses in Shovel Knight, but in this one he's just a joke, so it's great. The level is also very fun. So again, we're going to break blocks through the wall there, so I don't have to jump on them to break them. We're going to rush through as many enemies as possible. Oops. I kind of knew that was going to happen as soon as I decided I was going to homing attack on him. That's not too bad, though. There is a checkpoint right here. I tend to die a lot in this run. It's pretty unforgiving. Just, okay. You know what? There we go. So we're going to not make cycles, of course, which is okay. Yeah, the main cycle I wanted to make was these pots over here, but I made like a second or third cycle or something, so it's okay. Here, we're gonna skip all this. There's, again, the same mini-boss in this as there is in the Shovel Knight. The laboratory guy, the chemist, I guess. I don't need health. I got it out of just muscle memory. So we're gonna use the skeleton and the scythe, of course. We have to wait a sec anyway, so we might as well get all the refill and money. Close. Okay. damage boost a little bit. Skip that room. And the invincibility there will actually make sure you don't get hit by that fire regardless. You have enough time. Wall climb is a bit faster than ladders. Just a little bit. Come on. Okay. That worked out, kind of. So, Plague Knight now. So the difference with Plague Knight is he actually is going to spawn multiple versions of himself after the first few hits. So drop a skeleton. Just go nuts. And one is a fake and one's a real. You don't really know. So we're just going to hope. Drop a skeleton and hope. And drop a few more. There he is. Okay. We got him. So it's a much easier fight. You can do it faster and slower, but a lot of it's depending on kind of his RNG. Where he spawns is random. Which one's a clone is random. So you just kind of do your best. Drop a skeleton and hope for the best. So we're going to Stranded Ship now. There's only 2 more regular stages left, and then we've got the 2 last final stages, which are a bit more challenging. This is actually one of my favorite stages. This is the rail grinding stage. Oh, Baz is here. This is not actually a mini-boss fight. He just thinks he's cool, and then gets shamed. And then you can do your thing. He just dips. So luckily you don't have to fight that boss. Dash and slash. So normally these are the rails that you grind on, and the armor that I have allows me to grind on any ground, so that's why I've been grinding the whole time. Obviously these rails are, you go either left or right, you're forced to. This guy's really hard to avoid, so it's fine. There's a weird mini-boss here. It's a callback, obviously, to the platforms from Shovel Knight. Let's see if I get this jump. No, I didn't quite make it. You can make that platform and have to skip the ladder, but it's kind of tough, so it's not a big deal to miss it. I don't want to touch the spikes there. Here, we're not actually going to do any of this. We're just going to let the skeleton do the work for us. They'll shoot the buttons, so I don't have to go back and forth. I can just go. Good old skeleton, buddy. Great friend. Skip some of that room as well. So a lot of optimizations just sort of get through having to take more jumps and more rails in this level. Oops. That's... Okay, we're going to rush here. You can only make that leftmost guy if you hit that checkpoint. But it skips having to do this room twice, and the last room twice. Again, grinding on spikes is amazing. Can get the health just to be safe, and I lost it, so that's cool. These guys are notoriously a big pain in the So I just judgment rush them to death. So this is pure auto scroller, but we can get some money on the way. So it's not bad. There's a fair amount of money here. Okay, and Polar Knight. His gimmick is he actually extends the stage a little bit farther. So again, we're going to let Skeleton do the work here. Pretty fast. The fights are really fast with the Skeleton, so it's good. That is the main reason we end up spending time on, like, the time it takes to collect the skulls for it and the money for it, and then to buy the upgrade is still nowhere near the time it saves. So the last dream is actually not even a stage, it's just the dream where Enchantress recruits Spectre Knights. So now Spectre Knight is a Spectre and not a person anymore. We get the last darkness here. So I have max darkness, which is good, and I'm just going to be getting one cloak later which I should have enough money for after the next couple levels, barring some horrible, horrible deaths. So King Knight stage, pretty different actually. That was the wrong enemy. And there's no more enemy. Interesting. He despawned. I can't believe I despawned an enemy. Okay. So a lot of these rooms are just Judgment Rush. I don't have to do any of these rooms. It's pretty great. It makes the run very fast and very fun. Grinding on Rails skips that room as well. So we're going to try and skip this little book as well. The book spawns platforms. I'm actually going to try and get damage boosted up. Yep, it works. So yeah, that's a lot quicker than having to do the books and making platforms and all that stuff. Gonna get the health upgrade. There's actually very few health upgrades in this level, or health refills. And there's a fair amount of damage boosting. That looks close, it's not close. All these birds you just get right past. This room you can't Judgment Rush, there's too many enemies, so it'll probably target the wrong one. Here we're gonna go. The way the Judgment Rush works is kind of not fully known, besides that it targets the closest enemy, but what the game defines as closest enemy is a little bit random sometimes. But there are specific spots where we can stand that we know for sure we're gonna get the exact right spawn. Oops. Am I gonna make it in time? Yes, I have plenty of time. Okay, so that was pretty good. I died there a fair amount, so I'm kind of glad I didn't. And we're on King Knight now. So this is the last regular stage, so then we're on to the final boss. Well, final boss stages. Oh, so if he falls into the ground, he flies up and has a rat friend. Okay. Dethroned. Yes. He's still the king, though. Since this is a prequel to Shovel Knight, he'll still be the king after this. Alright. So we're going to the Tower of Fate now, since we beat all the regular levels. Black Knight's back, of course. Just like in Shovel Knight, he's the boss of the Tower of Fate as well. And just like Shovel Knight, he's way harder than the original, and I'll probably die on him at least once. Although I have practiced a ton, so maybe I won't. This is also a pretty challenging level. We're going to skip a bunch at the beginning, though. Yeah, those rooms. That room sucks, so we're not doing any of it. Trying to damage boost a little bit. Didn't quite work. I'm going to take this a little bit carefully. As not to die here. The other thing is oh, that was close. The other thing is I want to keep my money. So dying is really bad because it's way harder to get your money back. So I really do want to change my armor after this level. Going into the final boss. So there's a couple cycles I can try and make here. That might not make it. No, I don't think we're going to make that cycle. So we're going to wait. So you can go a little bit early here, but it's pretty tough to make, so we'll just do the regular quick cycle. Just like the Crusher room in Shovel Knight, it's a totally global cycle, but you can skip a little bit if you're good. So we're just trying to get through this stuff. Okay, good. Good health upgrade, or a health refill, rather. So you skip through that guy. So here we can skip all those little green plants by just skate jumping. This looks scary because there's spikes on top of the ceiling, but we got it pretty well. Okay. So the best enemy in the game is back, that fish that we can't kill and does double damage when he touches you. But we're going to try to use him to our advantage here. Okay, that works, kind of. I'm not going to get the health. There are no enemies in this room. This auto scroller. That's the wrong way. That's the wrong way. I got the checkpoint, so it's fine. I specifically got the checkpoint because it's possible that I get too anxious there and too excited. That's most of my money. All right, we're just gonna sit up here. This is the last auto scroller as well. Well, technically no, but the last one that's requires focus. Okay, I'm actually gonna break the checkpoint up there. Because I don't think it's a lot of money. So that gives most of my money back, which is good. The last little rail section. Do some tricks. Okay, so this is Black Knight 2, the harder version. So it's very possible I'm going to die here. He's extremely difficult. But we're going to try. We got the extra health upgrade. As long as we stay above him up here, it's a lot easier to hit him and you don't really get hit as much. So he's going to fall at some point. We're just going to throw the skeleton out to try and deal some extra hits. So this is frustrating because he goes in a bunch of invincibility phases now. Like that. That's the wrong way. There you go. What are you doing? The Terrapin can also kill the skeleton. Okay, that was pretty good actually. The Terrapin can kill the skeleton too, so it can be all sorts of bad. I'm actually really glad I didn't die there. Whoops. There. I didn't press start at the right time. Okay, so now we're going to get the final armor. The rail mill is done now. Skating is over. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is done. We're going to get the charge armor. So now I can do a charge slash. And because the last level is not really very much running around, it's just 2 boss battles basically. So the charge armor does double damage on a charge. So you can just hold it and then just get a nice big cut in there. You can also charge the homing attack, which is good too. This section is notoriously way harder than the Shovel Knight one. It's just not consistent for some reason. I kind of have to focus. Okay, whatever. We did it, we did it. So the rail mill is not super good here. Half the blocks that come down stop you from going fast anyway, so the charge armor is definitely a much better armor here. Luckily I've memorized where those are. It also has a wider range, the charge slash. So it's definitely ideal. And we're going to hit the checkpoint because it's stupid if I don't. This is also a very difficult boss, so I'm possibly going to die. But I have a little setup, so using the Judgment Rush properly. The Judgment Rush, again, does double hits, so... We're going to try and just blow up the... Okay, so far really good, actually. Nice fight. That seems like one of the best Enchantress fights I've ever had, actually. That was very good. So time is on the... Yeah. So I'm going to fake the time and die on the last hit, just like last marathon.
How about the backstory from last time? What do you want to explain?
Yeah, so on the very last hit, I said time's coming up, and then I yelled time and then died instead. So that was great. I hate this boss. Okay, so we're just going to do hits on him here. So the last hit is on the final. The last time is on the last hit, so I'll call it properly this time. So again, with the charge, you can do like a crap ton of damage. Hard fight. I tried to save myself with the Judgment Rush, but didn't. I was too late. Wait, we'll try it again. I mean, time? No, yeah, I don't like this boss, actually. I used to really like him because it was so cool, but now he's just frustrating and bad. Yo, up on the top rails. There we go. Come on. There we go. 2 hits. So the charge here obviously does double instead of a 1 hit that you would normally have. And time. There we go. All right, 50-22 is not bad. No, I killed him. All right, that's it.
Hey, give it up for Newbie. So last time we did this, which was March 11th.
March 11th.
Yeah, so when you called the time, you missed, and then you fell straight to your death.
Yeah.
Right?
And then I said, no, turn the time back on. Turn the time back on. Also, the game had only come out a week.
Yeah.
A week at that point.
And you were 1 hour and 7 minutes last time, so you actually cut down by 17 minutes.
I worked a lot on the
damn,
run, so
seriously,
yeah,
good
it's
job.
got a lot better.
That was good.
It's a lot smoother now, which is good.
Okay, we're gonna go Legend of Zelda Master Sword.